Good morning. Good morning. I'm deeply grateful to two writers who have contributed to me some information, thoughts, reflection on a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that is addiction and recovery. And I think by the end of my presentation this morning, you will know why this is near and dear to my heart. David begins. In a 19th century world of dour, pessimistic Calvinists, entirely convinced that you and everyone you know is going to hell, utterly irredeemable in a way that no good deed can ever make up for, your Universalist ancestors declared no hell, hope. In the 19th century, as Universalism spread across New England and the Midwest, known then as the West, Universalist preachers rode from town to town planting churches. And in every place they preached the gospel, the good news that God's love will not condemn you eternally to hell. I could go on and on about Universalism, the theory behind it, but I don't really care about the theory. What I care about is its practice, and here's why. My career as an alcoholic was brief but ambitious. Short, maybe, but I brought a dedication and focus to it that nearly killed me. When I hear nearly killed me, maybe a whole lot of things come to my mind, but I'm going to present something to you now by Harlan Chambers called The Last Drink. And it really spoke to me, and I hope it speaks to you. My guess is that there isn't a person in this room that hasn't experienced addiction or recovery in some manner. Please hear. It's following me again. I walk from the kitchen to the living room and hide. Jada doesn't even begin to describe it. I hate the world and the idea of the world. I loathe people and places and work and free time. I can't stand Netflix, binging, or walking in the park. I don't enjoy eating, not even Mexican food, which used to be the end of all things. I have one obsession. It's with me when I wake up and carries my carcass through the day. It laughs at me in a cajoling way, sweet talks me until I can't feign resistance. It consumes my every thought, whim, desire, and impulse. It wants me. I throw the empty beer bottle across the room and watch it smash into fragmented pieces, akin to how I feel, broken and scattered. I've lost everything to this madness. My wife, our dogs, our beautiful house that perched on the hill, perfect in its sturdy position before the slant, the slide into nothingness. I rue how I lost that six-figure paying job, the one that ate up my soul but afforded me luxuries. The luxury of not having to cut my grass, wash my car, or even clean the inside of my toilets. That ability to slight some stranger into doing the filthy worn, abused, stifled, empty to the point that I rely on this false projection. The snobbery's a crutch. I can laugh loudly with hugeness that is commanding. I laughed at Sophie when she had endured her limit. I don't know why she was surprised. I told her from the beginning that I would choose the beer over her. It might be a reflexive choice, but a choice nonetheless. How much more brutally honest could I have been? Really? I hear she's remarried with twins. Twins? Talk about wanting to suffer. She's the hypocrite, shunning her maternal instincts when we were together only to do an about face and have multiples. I don't drink that cheap light beer. No, I go for the gusto, the dark, heavy stuff, the craft, specialty brews that are balm to the hollowness. The first sip of the day, whether it comes at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., has a soothing effect of entering heaven, a familiarity of lost love, the embrace of everything you have ever wanted. It's a taste, but reminiscent of a scent, something you want to get all up in with a revelry. I swish it around in my mouth and it takes its hold. And remember that saying, first a man takes a drink, then a drink takes a drink, and then the drink takes a man. So you ask, what is it that you want? I go to grab another beer out of my stainless steel refrigerator, the one that set me back 15 grand. The same one where every shelf holds a stock of nothing but rows of carefully lined beer bottles and a tomato. To answer your question, what I want is to feel whole. I can handle a squishy, mushy sense of wholeness like the rotting tomato. I just don't want to bleed out everywhere, every day for the remainder of what is left. Walking back to the living room, I try to sidestep and then hop over the glass shards, my anger that is resplendent on the floor. And in doing so, I lose my balance, my foot, catching the slippery pieces that send me into a sudden free fall. And I take a long, hard drink. Feeling the liquid numb my existence, it's dulling and life-giving. I sink into its stealthy grip. I want to do the right thing. I want to be better than this moment and all the ones that preceded it. The alcohol has stripped me of dexterity. I step gingerly through the hallways and memories because I have no sense of connection. I'm gone. It wants me. It owns me. Don't do that pitiful gaze. I've brought myself to this state. I can manage the rest of the way. Not that you were thinking of helping me. I see you look away with disgust for all the things I wasted. I finish the beer in my hand, wondering if this will be my last drink, like the one that almost was the final toast, the one that precipitated the stroke I had 3 months ago. The more likely question is, will this be the last drink for today? I look forward and inward by closing my eyes on the verge of blackout, sorrowful and contrite. Darkness is my faulty reprieve. A tear slides to nowhere on my cheek. It's the only thing I feel. David Schwartz. For all its unique and personal detail, my own story is, in its essence, the same story as most every other alcoholic. First, things were fun, then fun and problems, and then at last only problems. And still, until stuck deep inside the disease, like being at the bottom of a well drowning, slowly. A friend said, the way things are isn't the way they have to be. There are plenty of ways to get sober. For me, it was a great deal of luck or grace, the help of AA, and support of friends and family and partner. In the years between then and now, I've grown into sobriety in different ways, in meetings, in therapy with mentors and teachers, from wise books, in church on my own, the same way all of us grow as people. Physical cravings and dreams stopped after 5 or 6 years, and I'm spending the rest of my life unlearning unhealthy patterns of thought and learning new ones. The same thing everyone does, figuring out how to be a person among people. Addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. In those early years of sobriety, that cunning would come in funny ways. In the first spring of sobriety, a year later, with the smell of spring air at night, that warm night where you smell earth again for the first time in months and months, I would think to myself, oh, this is just the sort of night I used to love to drink in. That summer in 9 p.m. twilight with swallows darting overhead, the drone of cicadas when everything starts to cool down after the day and the breeze blew the city clean, I would think to myself, this is just the sort of night I used to love to drink on. And in the fall, with faint wood smoke and the crunch of leaves underfoot, and the late afternoon light turning toward evening, I would think to myself, this is just the sort of afternoon I used to love to drink on. And in the winter months, when snow quiets everything down, and the world is still, and the cat just wants to sit on your bed all day long, I would think to myself, with long underwear for warmth under my jeans, this is just the sort of day I used to love to drink on. It took me a full year to realize that my brain was supplying a reason to drink on every single day, without exception, while pretending that every day was unique and different. Rainy, sunny, cloudy, warm, cold, snowing, hot, blizzard, hurricane. Some part of my brain was constructing that and presenting it as a reason. My brain didn't just tell me, hey, you should drink. It said, there's a reason you should pick up. You deserve it. This sort of day is the right sort of day. This is the right moment. The theologian Reinhold Niebuhr writes that reason is the servant of impulse before it's its master. That is to say, our faculty of reason, our ability to think about cause and effect, about the relationship between different things, about whether evidence adds up, is deeply compromised by impulse. In a less dramatic way, if you've ever done an intense workout and then justified having ice cream because you worked out, you know what I mean. You exercise and you burn 300 calories. And then you eat 800 calories of ice cream because you worked out. It makes sense in your head. It takes the shape of something reasonable sounding. But it's rationalizing the irrational, constructing a false reason why some behavior makes sense. It's not that reason is a bad thing, that we're hopelessly incapable of reasoning our way through difficult things. It's just that I needed something deeper and stronger and more certain than reason to guide me through sobriety. I needed the lived experience of love and belovedness and genuine acceptance and belonging. I needed that, not just to think about the meaning of universalism, but to actually have an experience that embodied it. I needed genuine acceptance and belonging. The message of universalism is not that you have a cosmic get-out-of-jail-free card for an afterlife. To say that universalism means God saves everyone misses the point. And the reason it's still relevant, even if you don't believe in God at all. The message is not about what's going to happen in the future, but why. All of us are worthy of salvation because all of us are beloved. All of us are just as human as everyone else, just as wounded, hurting, healing, just as capable of love, transformation, and transcendence, just as able to be who we are and who we are called to be. That's not really about what happens after we die. It's not about where you're going. It is all about where you are. It's about what we're going to do while we're here and what we're going to do with each other. The Universalists weren't just talking salvation. They were preaching, teaching, and living that in God there is a gaze which sees each of us as real, which sees in us all of who we are in possibility and purpose. The Jewish theologian Martin Buber says we travel through life in a haze, treating other people like objects, not humans. But our work is to treat others as fully human and real as we know ourselves to be. That's universalism in this world. Quakers say that there is a God in all of us, that inside each one of us is a spark of holiness, of divinity, of something so precious and holy, real, that the only name that makes sense for them to call it inside their tradition is God. The 20th century Unitarian von Ogden Vogt says the task of church is to enable us to become a person among persons. That's what my experience was the first time walking into a meeting. In a room full of people with radically different ages and backgrounds, and life experiences from me. I was simply, merely, gloriously, belovedly a person among persons, whole in my brokenness, just as worthy as anyone else. And because they saw me that way, it was easy to see them that way too. For none of us is irredeemable, none of us perfect. However, all of us, belonging to the family of humanity and invited into healing, loved back home to myself again. So just what has Roxy learned about addiction and recovery during my many years of caring for my beloved others who have found themselves navigating this most difficult life path? Number one, addiction is an equal opportunity life destroyer. Number two, one absolutely must want to commit and do the hard work to be successful in recovery. I have come to realize that a commitment to recovery is all about a following of a particular way of life. There is incredible power, number four, to be had in knowing that one is worthy, unique, much loved, and valued. Number five, there's someone greater present with the someone who is engaged in recovering. There's someone I care about, but I cannot fix him or her. I'm committed to walking with someone on a road of self-construction. I will not be a part of walking the road to self-destruction. Empower, not enable. Number eight, some will make it, some will not. Damn. It is what it is. The act of caring goes a long way, not only for another, but for oneself. There are community resources available to help. And knowing that, number 11, 80 to 85% of the people I care deeply about and serve at the Gallatin County Detention Center suffer from co-occurring mental health and substance abuse issues. And I have been able to find the grace to serve in claiming this as true and so very real. I'd like to take a moment to introduce somebody who's been pretty instrumental in me learning all of this. Dennis, would you stand? This is my friend Dennis Huska. Dennis has been clean 18 years, runs his own business. And in the last 4 minutes of a meeting with the Gallatin County Commission in 2014, he appeared in his paint clothes and in 4 minutes convinced the commission to give me $85,000 so I could start a program called Fresh Start. And I want to say that I had a group called Survivors for 11 years. They were all people who suffered from addiction, and Dennis became a leader in that group. He called a spade, and people in that group admired him greatly. It is because of Dennis, it's because of others that we together have worked with, that we are still working with people who have found a path that is highly destructive and can find a path to recovery, a new way of life, be transformed. I thank you all for hearing me this morning, and I thank my darling friend Dennis for being here with me this morning. Oh, golly gee. But I depend on him. He's dependable. If anything happens, he's the first person I call. Please join me in welcoming here this morning.